Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. So, like we had kind of started a few weeks ago with starting on our team calls, I'm going to do a quick little prayer first just to kind of set the tone and the mood and get us all in the right place. So, here we go. Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for this time that we get to come together as a team on Saturdays. It's been a while since we've gotten to get together and chat and do a team call, so I'm really excited to be here with these girls today. Please just be with us during this hour that we're together and help it to be productive, help us all to learn something, and help us to take what we learn and what we talk about and what we kind of strategize together and put it into action into our businesses, and let our businesses be a light for you and be a way for us to show other people your love and just help them to be happier and live better lives, and just bring people into our lives that we can help and who need a friend and need community like we did when we started this. So I just give this call to you. Let your will be done through everything that we do, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Okay, so I still need to post the recording from the last team call that we did, which was about time management and just like planning out your schedule and everything. So today I will post the recordings from that one and from today. But when I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about today, I was flipping back through my notes from when I went to LA to the New Leader Conference. And because I was like, I know that there is so much stuff that I learned when I was there that I have just completely forgotten about. And so it makes me really glad that I took some really good notes while I'm there. So for the next few weeks, that's what I'm going to try to do, is just go back and read over my notes and remember the things that I learned and the things that those coaches talked about that helped them in their business, and share it with you guys in hopes that we can implement the same things in our businesses. And then maybe one day we will be on that stage at New Leader Conference, sharing with the new coaches of the future. So today what I wanted to talk about is something that Amy Rada shared with us. And if you've ever, she might have talked about this on the National Wake Up Call when she did it, or if you've ever listened to some of her trainings, but this is something that has been really vital to her business, and I just love the idea of it, because if you do what she's talking about, which is using your social media as your accountability partner, then you're going to be doing the vital behaviors that you need to be doing as a coach, and it's going to inspire other people and bring them into your business and like get them to want to do what you're doing, because you're sharing so much about your journey. Because I feel like that's something that so many new coaches struggle with, is not knowing what to post. But the thing is if you're doing your vital behaviors as a coach, like working out, doing your personal development, following your meal plan, inviting people, like doing your tracker every day, then you have things to post about every single day. Like if we shared about everything that we do all day, we could post 5 or 6 times a day if we really wanted to. So when she started her business, she was a teacher, and she had to wake up every morning at like 3:45 in order to get her workout done, do some of her like vital business activities, and then I think she had to drive like over an hour to work every day. So she started using her Instagram as her accountability partner. So she started sharing everything from her workouts to what she was eating to the vital behaviors that she was doing in her business, her personal development, basically everything. And honestly, when I think about the beginning of my journey and when I first started as a coach, that's exactly what I was doing, is using social media as an accountability partner. Because that is like, I started sharing my health and fitness weight loss journey on my Facebook page before I even became a coach. Like that was the thing that kind of enticed Emily to invite me to coaching, was because I was already doing those things that coaches do by sharing my journey on Facebook. So the thing that she talked about doing is figuring out what works for you and what brings you joy. And that is kind of what she did. And like, she found what brought her joy in sharing her journey. And for her, that looked like posting on her Instagram like 5 or 6 times a day. And that's not how it's going to be for everyone, because obviously not everyone is going to post 5 or 6 times a day. Not everyone's network is going to respond to you posting that many times a day. For some people, 1 quality post a day is enough. For some people, 2 is enough. You just have to figure out what brings you joy and how and what you're sharing and how often you're sharing, because when you're posting and putting yourself out there and it's making you happy and making you excited, and people will feel that energy through your post. If you're trying to post 5 or 6 times a day and it doesn't feel good to you, then that is the energy that you're putting out there. And people are just not going to respond to that. So figure out what feels the best for you. So maybe that looks like posting your workout picture every single morning at the same time every morning. Like Rachel does that, Rachel Beach. She literally posts her workout selfie every single morning consistently. And I think that is something that like people expect it from her now. And if they don't see it, then I think she actually like gets messages from people and is like, hey, I didn't see your workout picture today. Like, is everything okay? And so it just kind of helps you build your brand. Also, when you start like sharing in a way that brings you joy. And as I'm saying this, all I can think is Marie Kondo and what sparks joy. But anyways, so the key literally in using it as your accountability partner is just consistency and showing up every single day, because that's why I became a coach. And that's why I started sharing my journey, is for the accountability factor of, if I'm putting myself and my journey out there to the world and people are seeing my post every day, then how much more likely am I to commit and stay committed and not give up on myself? Because I had tried, like y'all know my story, I had tried to lose weight for years. And I was the yo-yo dieter. I was the crash dieter. I would literally like barely eat anything all week, if you really want to know. Like I would eat 1 main meal a day and it was a salad. And then the rest of the time I would be eating like Special K bars and Special K shakes and crap. And that was it. And then on the weekends, I would just totally lose it and just binge and eat whatever I wanted. And as you can imagine, that just is not sustainable and it doesn't work. So I was the person who always gave up because I was never doing anything that was actually sustainable. But when I started actually doing things the right way and sharing it, and also during that time when I was struggling so much with just lose 15 pounds, gain 15 pounds, lose 15 pounds, gain 20 pounds. Like that whole time, I was not sharing my fitness journey at all. Like I would go to the gym and stuff every day with my friends at school, but I was not putting it out there to anyone else that I was doing something for me and that I was committing to something. I was keeping it all to myself. And I mean, we all know from experience that when you do that, when you keep everything inside, like even if you have really big goals, but if you don't put it out there and you don't tell anyone, when things get hard, it's so much easier for you to just give up and quit, because there's nobody saying like, where are you at today? Like, I didn't see you today. Didn't see your post. What's going on? There's nobody to like kind of call you out and be there for you when you're having a hard day. So using it as your accountability partner is huge. So share your workouts, share your personal development. And this can all be done like through your stories and through your posts on your page. So like literally start sharing everything that you're doing. And even if you think that nobody cares, like I swear, when I started doing stories all the time, I felt like nobody cares what the heck I'm doing today. Like nobody cares that I got up at 4:30 and that I'm doing the same exact morning routine that I do every day. And like I feel like I kind of have the same schedule and routine every day. And so my people are probably like just get bored. They're like, oh, she's doing the same thing again. But no, like it's not like that. You're showing them consistency and you're showing them that you're in this for the long haul. And that's what people are looking for when they're looking for a coach. and when they're looking for somebody to help them to do this, is they're looking for someone who they have seen has proven themselves that they're here and that they're going to show up every day and they're not going to quit, and they're not just jumping from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And something that she recommends is to try something. If you're going to try out like a new strategy with either sharing on your stories or sharing on with your posts, like try a strategy for more than just a week, because it's hard to figure out. You say, okay, I'm going to post 2 times a day, and you commit that you're going to do that, but you only do it for a week, and then you're like, well, nothing really changed. Like, posting twice a day was really difficult, but nothing, like, it didn't really give me any better results in my business. Well, you only did it for a week. Like, when you just do it for a week, it's just like with your workouts. If you just work out for a week and then you quit, of course you're not going to see very good results. And that's kind of like I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but like the concept that we talk about all the time of building momentum, and how the work that you're doing right now, today, this week, this month, the work that you're doing, the conversations that you're having, the people that you're reaching right now are the people who are going to be ready next month or in 3 months or 6 months. So it's like the work you do now pays off later. So if you only stick with it for a week, then of course you're not going to see how it's going to pay off. You got to stick with it for a little bit longer to see if it actually is working or not. And then if you try it for 2 or 3 weeks, and with like a posting strategy, I guess, if you try it for 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month, and still like you're not getting any better traction, you're not getting any better engagement or anything from people, then it's time to, okay, look and see, what was I doing? How did things change or not change, and how do I want to improve from there? And I think that's something that all of us could get better about doing. I almost feel like I want to put it on my calendar and be like, okay, at the end of the month, I want to look back at my social media and see how many times did I post about coaching this month? How many times did I post about my accountability group? And then see, okay, how many new challengers did I bring in this month, and how many new coaches did I bring in? Like, I'm just having this like aha moment right now. Like, we definitely should do this, because then we can see, like, my goal right now to grow my business and to get it to a place to where I can quit my full-time job and do this is to bring in more business coaches and mentor more business coaches, because that is where you start to see the residual income that will allow you to have financial freedom. And so I have got to shift my brain and my focus on what I talk about and what I share about to be more about coaching in the business and less about the accountability groups, because I'm good at bringing people in to join an accountability group. I'm good at getting people hooked into that. But what I struggle with is talking enough about coaching to get people who are interested in coaching and building a business from the get-go. And I will say I'm getting a little bit better about that I have 2 girls actually, one who is planning on getting signed up this month, and another one who is waiting until May because she is getting ready to graduate from college and is just super busy. But both of them, I've been talking to them for a couple of months now, met them on Instagram, never met them in my life, but they've been following my journey and they want to coach. And the reason that they're waiting to get started is because when they start, they want to go all in to build the business. And so, like, having them is kind of like a reassurance for me that over the past few months, I am doing a better job at talking about coaching, but I could still be a lot more intentional about it. So maybe we should all like mark that on our calendars, like on the 1st of every month, like set a reminder in our phones to, okay, do a social media audit of your last month. Go look and scroll back to the first day of the previous month and start tallying up. How many coaching posts did I do? How many accountability group invites did I do? How, like, business posts, all those things, and tally them up, and then look at that compared to the new people that you brought into your business that month and see how we need to change things going forward. So the next thing that I want to talk about is posting the vital behaviors. And that's something that I have not, other than like getting myself results in personal development. Like, I have not been very good or consistent about sharing the other vital behaviors of like shouting people out and recognizing other people for their achievements, and like posting and like sharing about how we do this business, and inviting and following up and talking about like events and things. But I think that's something that a lot of people just have no clue, like what the heck we do as coaches. So it's not really that they're not interested or that they don't want to do it, but they either just have no clue about what it actually is or what it involves, or they have some kind of like misconception because it's a network marketing thing that they don't want to be a part of it. So something I'm actually doing today, I just kind of thought of this last night before I went to bed, but I am on my Instagram stories, I am going to take everyone through like a day in the life of a coach. And I went ahead and put it out there, and I was like, it's a Saturday, so this day is going to look a little bit different for me because I'm a part-time coach right now. And so normally I get all of my work done in little power pockets, but today it will look a little bit different because it's a Saturday and I can have more like extended amounts of time to devote to my business today. But kind of my goal, I would love to start doing that like every week at least, just to see like, okay, this is what a day looks like for me when I'm not working on the weekends, and this is what a day looks like for me when I am working and I'm just getting things done in little power pockets. So let's see what the next couple things is that she talked about. So something that she mentioned that she would always ask herself every single time she posted is this credible, trusting, valuable, consistent, real, and honest? So asking yourself those things before you hit post. And because that just like is kind of like a check for yourself. Like, is what I'm putting out there, is this the message that I want to be going out to the world? Is this in line with my values? Is this something that would appeal to me if I was on the other side of that screen? So basically making sure when you're drafting a post that you're talking to the girl on the other side of the phone who is reading it, and thinking about, pretend like it was you 3 years ago or 5 years ago, however long that you started this journey. And what did you need? What were you looking for when you started this? And something else that I learned from a training that I watched a few weeks ago was the concept of, in a post, going through these 4 steps. It's a hook, a question, a story, and then an invite. And I forget who the coach was that that did this call. It might have been one of the Slay Squad calls from a Monday night. I can't remember. But basically with all of her posts, she goes through this little flow. And so the first line is always something that's going to hook people in. And I was doing this for about a week, and then I just kind of got lazy and stopped like intentionally thinking about how I was writing things. But I will say, when I was following this, I was getting more engagement on my posts, I feel like, and getting more people who were actually reading them and liking it and commenting. So you hook them in, and then you ask a question right below that, something to like get them thinking, get them engaged. And then whatever you're sharing about, like, share like a little bitty piece of your story of whatever's happening. And then at the end is where you would invite them to do something with you, whatever that is. But if you stop and like think about that as you're writing a post, especially if you're like struggling to figure out what you want to say, like going through that little flow really helped me when I was doing it. So I'm going to get back into that. So next, so something that we hear a lot of people talk about, and we've talked about it before, is structuring your post around like your 4 or 5 brands, or like the things that make you who you are. And I think we all kind of feel this way, but that's something that I have struggled with figuring out. But I also feel like I am starting to get a little bit of a grasp on that. So for me, I would say that fitness is a huge part of my brand, and one of the things that I share about a lot. Another thing that is a big part of my brand is like being kind of like introverted and being super diligent about my quiet personal time, my personal development. My morning routine is definitely like a big part of my brand. And then I have slowly started to incorporate in, like, I love like bold makeup, bold lashes, hair, like getting dressed up. I love that stuff. And I'm trying to like incorporate that more into what I'm sharing, to be more of like stuff that I'm wearing, like beauty products that I'm using, stuff like that, because people are always interested in that when I do share about it. I'm just not as intentional. Then using Instagram Insights for timing your posts and everything is really important. You do have to have a business account to be able to see that. But if you go to your page and you click on the little 3 lines up here in the corner, you can click on that and then go to Insights. And there's 3 different pages. You can look at content, activity, and audience. But if you go to the audience page, it'll tell you where, like the locations of the people who see your stuff the most, the age range, gender, and then at the very bottom, it will show you of your followers. You can scroll through each day of the week, and these little bars will tell you when they are on Instagram the most throughout the day. So like for Fridays, well, we'll go to Saturday since it's Saturday. So for Saturdays, my followers are most active around 12 p.m., 3 p.m., 12, 3, 6, and 9, basically. So if you look, like this is the morning. It starts at 12 a.m., 3 a.m., 6 a.m., and then the 4th one is 9 a.m. But see how like those bars are lower because no, they're not on Instagram as much in the morning. So for me, like posting something at 6 a.m. on a Saturday is not going to get very much engagement because that's not when my network is on. So, and I mean, honestly, that thing is not like foolproof and going to be like, oh, if you post at 12 p.m., you're going to get so much engagement. Like, it's not necessarily true. So you just have to play around with it and figure out when those best times are for you. Let's see. So then the last thing that she talked about that I want to share is having an influencer mentality. And I really like that because that's kind of, I mean, it's what we are, is we're trying to influence people to want to live a healthier lifestyle, right? Because changing our lifestyle has been so beneficial and positive in our lives. So it's our duty and responsibility as coaches to share that with people. Like this platform that we have, this hair, y'all, this platform that we have is so incredible. Like, imagine trying to build a business like this, trying to build like a health and fitness business without having this platform, like without having Beachbody, without having the workouts and the tools and the resources. Like, do you know how hard that would be? Like, you would literally be starting from scratch with nothing and have to come up with everything from scratch by yourself. And it would be so much harder. And we have been given this platform from Beachbody. They give us all the tools. They give us the workouts, the meal plans, the supplements, the shakes, everything, to where we really just get to do the fun stuff. Like, we don't have to worry about like designing workout programs or designing nutrition plans that actually work. Like, we just get to do the fun stuff and networking and talking to people and helping people get results. And we get to be as creative as we want. We get to take our business in whatever direction that we want. And that's one thing I love about, like, when I went to the New Leader Conference, everyone does the same kind of basic principles and basic business building activities, but the way that they do them and the way that everyone runs their business can be so different based on your personality, based on like where you live, the type of people that you relate to. And I love that because it's what makes us unique as coaches, even though we all are providing the same thing, the same community, the same workouts. Like, you have to take what makes you and put it out there, and that is what attracts somebody to want to be on Dana's team versus somebody who wants to be on my team, because we relate to people so much differently. And if you're just getting started with your coaching journey and sharing and posting, like, just take baby steps. Like, if you've never posted much on Facebook at all and you just became a coach and you want to get started, and sharing your journey on Facebook just seems so scary. Like, putting yourself out there just seems so scary, so intimidating. Like, just take baby steps. It doesn't have to be like, when you first started out as a coach, like, it's not going to be perfect and pretty all the time, and it doesn't even have to be. Like, it doesn't have to be the perfect post every time, and it doesn't have to be the perfect picture. Like, just put it out there. Like, if you scroll back to my Facebook and Instagram, like, when I first started, like, when I see stuff pop up on my memories, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I've come so far in, like, the types of things that I share and how I say things, but I was still, like, I was super successful as a brand new coach. Like, and there wasn't anything special about the way I was putting myself out there. I was literally just sharing my journey the only way I knew how. And that was perfect. Like, it's just, you learn as you go. And I feel like so many new coaches get stuck in this rut of thinking that they have to know everything before they can start. And they have to craft the perfect posts and the perfect invites and all of these things before they can really get started. But that is so far from the truth. You just have to start. You just have to start putting yourself out there and just go for it, and not worry about what other people think, what your mom might think, what your aunt might think, your cousin or your friend. Like, don't worry about what they think, because this is you. You're doing this for you. You're not doing this for anybody else. So even if at the end of the day, like, your only goal in putting yourself out there is the accountability to show up for yourself and change your own life, like, that's enough. That's enough of a reason to put yourself out there. Like, I actually had a girl last night who I've been talking to her on and off, and she is kind of doing her own thing right now with trying to get healthier. She's eating healthier, going to the gym and stuff, and she's lost like 12 pounds or something. And she posted a transformation picture. And of course, like, we had been talking earlier in the day, and then I commented on her picture, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. You look great. Keep it up. Just to encourage her. And she messaged me like right after, and she was like, do you ever think people get tired of seeing your transformation posts? And I was like, nope, LOL. If they do, they can unfollow me. And I didn't have that mentality in the beginning, but I can honestly say that, like, sharing that kind of thing and putting myself out there never really, like, yes, sharing transformations scared me a little bit just to put out my before pictures out there. But, like, I never really have been concerned with, does this annoy someone? Because if it annoys someone that you are getting healthy and bettering yourself, then they're not your people. And hopefully, if it does annoy them, maybe you'll annoy them just enough to make them want to change their life, because they see how much that your life has improved. And that is the mentality that I try to keep, because I'm not doing it. I'm not putting myself out there and sharing my journey to make you feel bad or annoy you or anything. I'm putting it out there because I hope it inspires you. I hope that you can see where I started and where I am now, and that there's nothing special about me, and that you can do it too. And that's literally what I love the most about using your social media as your accountability partner, because even if, like, we have the best accountability group in the freaking world right now. Like, everyone in there is so incredible. From the very beginning of this year, it has had so much energy. It's been so much fun. Everyone has been seeing such great results. But when you put yourself out there on your page, then you've got even more. Like, literally everyone who is your friend on Facebook and everyone who follows you becomes your accountability partner too. And it just keeps you on track. So that is basically all I've got. The last thing that I wrote down from her speech that day was that it's your duty to share your story and help someone get started with theirs. So that's why we share our journeys. That's why we put ourselves out there, is to help somebody else do the same thing. So, and also one thing that I forgot to mention is, like I was talking about with it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, people don't want to see perfect. They want to see relatable. They want to see real. They want to see the days that you struggle and wake up and don't want to do your workout, or you don't really want to show up for your business and work today, but you're going to because you have such big goals and a vision for your life. So because it's when you put it out there that it's all perfect and you never have a bad day, like, that's just not reality, and people are not going to relate to that because they'll think in their head like, oh, she's perfect, she never has a bad day, so there's no way I could do that because I'm not perfect and I have bad days all the time. But in reality, we have bad days. We just, through personal development, we know how to switch our attitude and switch our brain and make it better. So I hope that was helpful. Does anybody have any questions or want to add anything?
I want to say something about when people think it has to be perfect to when they first start or whatever, because I feel like that's one thing that I've seen the most this year from anybody, like people struggling with, is like when they start their journey, like they're worried about having well, for one, they're caught in comparison. Well, mine's not going to look good as yours. They're worried about the perfect angle, what to say, all the things. And the reality is, it doesn't have, you're overcomplicating it. And if you're struggling with that, then you need first to check yourself, and you need to read personal development, and you need to think about why you became a coach in the first place, and then realign your goals with what your reason why you got started, because I think sometimes those they're just not aligned, and that starts with all the overwhelm and confusion and overthinking. I think it starts there. And then also just get over yourself and just stop overcomplicating it. Like, I'm so over it. And I know, like, I don't sugarcoat it for anybody, because the reality is the first time you do something, it's when you look back 1,000 posts later, that first one, yeah, it's going to suck. But like, you have to be willing to start somewhere, or you're never going to get to the other side. I mean, that's just, I don't know another way to put it. It's just, you just have to start somewhere. Yeah. And be okay with that. And you don't have to have the perfect lighting. You don't have to have the perfect photo. It's just start somewhere. Sorry if you can't tell, I'm super passionate about that. And I'm like,
yeah.
No, that's good. That's really good. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Because you can really start comparing. You really get into a kind of a funk about comparing yourself. And you have to really watch that, because And I'll be real honest, like I limit what posts that I watch or what I look at, because sometimes it defeats me, because I'm like, oh my gosh, if I was more cool like she is, or if I could look more like she did, or, maybe more people would respond to my posts. But you can't do that, because you have to remember that the people that you want with you are the people that know you and want to be with you, and they like your style. So you got to remember that. So, because it really is, it can be very defeating sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, it can. Like, I think that's great that you don't consume it, because people think that, like, we have people, I think a lot of times they just think that we don't have control of what we consume on social media. Like, the reality is, you can unfollow, unfriend, anything. Like, just because they were your friend in high school doesn't mean they have to still be your friend on social media. Like on social media, if someone triggers something like that in you, I think that don't be afraid to cut it off, because you are in control of what you consume.
I wish, yeah, and too, if everybody would realize, and it's took me a while to understand this, and we have something that you have to be proud of what we're doing, because there's so many people that are not doing what we're doing, and we're really lucky that we found this, and don't be ashamed of it. And that's why we have to get out and share our stories and share what we're doing, because you never know who is watching your post, and you never know who's going to message you and say, I need this really bad, help me. And it's crazy, because it just, you got to keep going, you got to keep wanting to share, and because there are people that watch you, and we're very fortunate to be where we're at, and to have this opportunity. And don't hide it, don't keep it to yourself. You got to share your journey, so you'll help. If it's just one person, it would be awesome if you could help one person a day, but if it's one person a week or a month, or at least you're helping that one person that could be in a really bad place. So everybody's got to really remember that.
I agree. I think the shift in perspective too is like what you're saying there is like, it's an opportunity. This is a gift. It's my duty to share what I found with other people. I think that perspective is huge. On your mindset is what it all goes back down to, is your mindset.
Oh, 110%. 110%. Because when I come home from work and I have the mindset that I don't want to sit down at the computer again and work on my business, because in all honesty, I'm just being lazy. When I shift my mindset from, I don't want to sit down at my computer for another hour, to I have a responsibility to get back to the women who are in my inbox and the people who have engaged with my content from today. I have a duty to them to reach out to them and talk to them. Like, it totally shifts everything. It goes from, I don't want to sit down and work for even 5 minutes, to I sit down and start working and then I can't make myself shut my computer and go to bed. Like, that happened so many times this week. And sometimes it's literally just like, it can be as simple as turning on like your favorite song and blasting it for 5 minutes and dancing around and getting yourself into a different state and a different mindset. And that is not even just with business, it's with like working out, anything in your life. Like Tony Robbins preaches on that. Like, if you're struggling, if you're in a negative mindset, in a negative state, feeling sorry for yourself, like not wanting to be motivated, whatever it is, like change your state. Like, get up, move your body, like do something to get yourself out of that funk, because you have that power, you have that control, and you have to be the one to get up and do something about it, because it's just as easy to stay in that funk, when in reality it's actually harder on yourself to stay in it, when it seems really hard to get out of it, but choosing to stay in it is harder, really. But no, I love all that.
Yeah, and the last thing that I'll say is like shift, like what you just said, is what you took the focus off of yourself, and it's not about you, is what I like. I mean, like I have to say that to myself all the time. Like, it's not about me. Like when I'm lazy and I don't want to do anything, when I don't want to make a post, I'm like, it's not about me. And then like it just kind of, like you said, it's just a simple shift, and you can change anything.
Yeah, for real. And I shared this earlier this week, but it was the question of asking yourself, does this support the life that I'm trying to create? And I like saw it on Pinterest or something, and I was like, whoa. Like, if you ask yourself that every single time you get ready to do something, every single time you get ready to like swipe your credit card or sit down, like go get in the cabinet and eat a whole line of Oreos. If like before you decide to turn on Netflix versus clearing out your inbox, like anything, or saying yes to something, like if somebody asks you to go out and do something, when you know, like if you want to get to where you want to be in your life, you should really go home and work on your business. Like, ask yourself that question before you say yes. If it's and Rachel Hollis talks about this, and I love it. And it's like, if it's not a hell yes, then it's a no. Like, and that's so hard for us, especially as women. like saying no to people and no to things is so hard. But like Emily, I know you have gotten so much better about that and putting like your priorities first.
That
And
is right.
like I have seen that
Mhm.
in your life and your business in the last like year, 6 months,
Mhm.
whatever. And I feel like I'm getting to that place now where I can say no to like something as simple as like not going to the cult preview earlier, like a couple months ago. Like Dad Tyler wanted me to go, and I wanted to go to be there to support him, but I knew that I needed to work on my business.
Mhm.
So I said no. And I was like, I'm sorry. I know you want me to be there. Like, and I will, if you really, really, really want me to be there, I will be there and make it work. But I was like, I feel like this is what I need to do today. And so that's what I did. And it felt so like empowering and so good. But in that moment, I also had to get over what other people might think about me not being there.
Yes.
Because that was literally the reason that I was like, like I almost went just because of what I thought some other people might think of me not coming. And I was like, like crap on that. No, who cares? Like, it doesn't matter what they think, because what they think is not going to make me a full-time coach
Mhm.
and not going to pay my bills and not going to help me move my business forward and help more people. So
That's so true. I love that, Emma. Because I mean that's like been the biggest thing. I think for myself, as far as me dedicating more time, is saying like no. Like when someone asks me something now, I I don't say I don't give them I don't say yes or no. I say let me think about it, which is like huge, huge, huge. Somebody asked me if I do their makeup last week for prom. I love to do that kind of stuff, but I'm like, is this, I mean, I really ask myself, I check myself every single time someone asks me to go out to eat, do anything. And I mean, I said, I'll get back to you. And I think like just that stuff like that, just not spouting out yes is huge.
Yeah, for sure. I really like that. All right. Well, I'm going to stop recording.